The following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Okay, we talked about this earlier, literally 3 or 4 hours ago, but it just happened. Anthony Beauvillier, no longer a Vancouver Canuck. He is a Chicago Blackhawk, and coming the other way is Corey Perry. Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I'm joking. It's a 5th-round pick. And we got Trevor Beggs driving home from work, and I just want to know your thoughts on this, because A, I'm surprised because there's no salary retained, and B, something like this was bound to happen. I wonder what they're going to do with their money, but I'll give you the floor. Beggsy, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Kyle, we talked about it not too long ago, an episode on Locked On Canucks here, your team every day, about the Canucks showcasing Anthony Beauvillier, and we got that part right. I think they were trying to showcase Anthony Beauvillier, putting him in the top 6 for a bit, giving him some increased minutes of late. But at the end of the day, we didn't quite have the destination right. Although we did say on today's episode that, this guy isn't worth much. He hasn't really performed that well. He's making over $4 million. He's an undersized middle 6 winger. And, you look at the return, and the Canucks did not get much. They got a 20 or a 5th round pick. But the big win here is the cap savings, right? Anthony Beauvillier hadn't really found his place on this team. I think other guys like Nils Höglander, who's playing, again, a shade over 10 minutes tonight, had drastically outperformed Anthony Beauvillier. So the fact that, again, according to reports, this trade is just breaking right now with no salary retained, that's a huge win for the Canucks. Mm-hmm. This is a team that needs to bolster their defense, I did a deep dive for Daily Hive today. I don't think it's been posted yet, but looking at them compared to the Golden Knights and the Kings. And you look at the Canucks compared to the Golden Knights and the Kings, and their defense is still the glaring weakness, right? The forward depth is good. The goaltending's good. But their defense compared to their top competitors in the division is subpar. And I think with this money, it's more of an if not when in terms of the Canucks improving this defense. It's going to happen at some point. Ooh. And by making this trade, it is automatically giving them the flexibility to make a move to bolster this defense, whether it's signing Ethan Bear, whether it's making a trade. Something to bolster this defense is going to happen at some point based on the cap savings that they got today.
Yeah, it's a lot of money to save, and you brought up one name, Ethan Bear. A part of me hopes it's something safe like that, but that's just coming from someone who's still a little traumatized. Like, we're just having some of the success now. I'm still kind of scared of the Canucks making big trades, but I'm also saying that against the management group that absolutely robbed Detroit for Filip Hronek. So do you think there's any combination out there where the Vancouver Canucks can make a big move like that again? I'm talking trading another first, trading another pick, and getting a young defenseman who's going to be expensive down the road and a team wants to give up on them. Is that player out there? And just in general, again, are the Canucks going to go swimming/hunting for somebody bigger than Ethan Bear?
I think it's certainly a possibility, especially with the trade they made today. I think, signing Ethan Bear was the most likely option before the trade, just because it's so hard to, make a trade right now with everybody capped out. But now that the Canucks have cleared this cap space, I haven't looked at it, and I know they're operating in LTIR, but they have to have some of the most cap space in the league right now, so many teams are right up against it. So the Canucks are in a huge position of strength right now, and I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of target someone younger who could fit with this team long term. And I also wouldn't be surprised if this team parts with another big future, like a first-round pick. I know they don't have a second, I believe, in this year's draft. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade another first-round pick to bolster this blue line. We'll see what actually plays out. I mean, again, you got to proceed with some caution if you're Patrick Allvin, because this team's prospect pool isn't fantastic as much as we want to gas up the forwards in Abbotsford, as much as we want to gas up kind of the Hunter Bruchevic's, Willander, Elias Pettersson for 2.0, Jonathan Lekaramaki. This team does not have a great prospect pool. But that being said, I think the more important thing than that is that, Kyle, you and I have talked about it every day, you know it. This team's cup window is opening up right now.
Mm-hmm. The Vancouver Canucks are in a win-now mode. It's just the truth.
Woo!
And I want to see what happens next. It's all over the place when it comes to the possibilities, but I'm not, again, going to be surprised if they do something. And I think if I end up being disappointed in what they do based on being scared, based on them being a team that shouldn't be, giving up prospects or picks because we just have Tom Willander. Jonathan Lekaremaki, it's not the deepest of prospect pools by far and away. But then again, I got it so wrong with Filip Hronek that I hope that they can hit another Grand Slam. It's possible, man. It's possible, man. Maybe these two are the best at making trades in the league. Who knows?
Yeah, I think the pro scouting department deserves some credit.
Yeah.
For me, like Riley Stillman was the big miss, but aside from that, like they absolutely nailed it with Filip Hronek. Mm-hmm. And I had trepidation about that move, right? The guy basically had one good season as an all-around bona fide, top four or even top pairing defenseman. But there was a lot of, defensive deficiencies in his game earlier in Detroit. And now part of that was being a young guy playing higher up in the lineup than he should have. But that being said, they're pro scouts. They're smarter than you and I, Kyle, and they seem to have really got it right with that move. So, I'm, again, really curious to see what they're going to do with this cap space. I don't think it's going to be anything, coming it down in the next, couple days or the next week or anything.
Me too.
This team has time. Get it right, make the right decision, and they also have a cushion. The Canucks, again, 6th overall in the NHL standings as of earlier today. There's no impending rush to make a move.
And they shouldn't be rushed, man. They don't got to be forced to do anything. The Canucks have to still move as a really, really smart organization. And ultimately, I know every team tries to do this, but win trades. Win player transactions, And early on with Alvin and Rutherford, I feel as if they're hitting at an 85% clip. And that's positive, man. That's positive. And this move right here is, in my opinion, very, very positive. And I think one player that really pushed the agenda here to make this happen was Nils Höglander, because the way he's been playing and the way he's been producing, it just makes too much sense for a move like this to happen. Again, the Canucks are in a win now mode. Anthony Beauvillier, even though he hasn't been producing a lot of offense, he's still a good player. He's still useful for a team that is in a win now mode, but it's kind of impossible to have Connor Garland, Nils Höglander, and Anthony Beauvillier all in your bottom six. It makes no sense. It's so much redundance. So Höglander, I think, really pushed the issue here.
Yeah, 100%. And Kyle, let's pat ourselves on the back for a quick second, because we talked about that over the summer, right? All the trade speculation about Connor Garland, some trade speculation about Nils Höglander, Vasily Podkolzin. Are they going to make a move like that? And, all the talk is in particular about trading Connor Garland. I think you and I both said that trading Anthony Beauvillier made more sense for this team. It was the more likely option. I don't know if it's necessarily a bold take, but, that's something we said, so I think we've got to give ourselves some credit for that.
Some credit. And I think some people weren't saying that because Beauvillier, again, a good hockey player, and he played pretty good for the Vancouver Canucks when he got here. I think 80% of the games that he played for the Canucks, he was producing a lot of offense, and it made sense for why he would be somewhat of a favorite when it came to those players and how we would solve some cap issues. But at the end of the day, he is and was at the time the clear solution, and it's no longer Anthony Beauvillier time in Vancouver. He just got traded to Chicago for a 5th-round pick, and I gotta go, man. Come on, Locked On Canucks. We doing this all the time, baby. We doing this all the time. I'm sweating over here. I gotta go to Safeway and grab some steak. I want to make some burgers today, man. Some ground beef. I said steak. I'm hungry, okay? Anyways, Begsy, shut up. Get out of here. Okay, get out of here. Enough Locked On Canucks today.
All right, gotta go. Go Canucks, go Canucks, go. Bye.
Peace. If you're watching this, listen to this, we love you. Again, Anthony Beauvillier, no longer a Vancouver Canuck. He got traded to Chicago. One love. Best of luck out there. Have a good morning, a good afternoon, a good night. I don't know when you're listening to this, but hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.